All right, let's get things started here right on time. I am ready to go with the recording and everything. So welcome everybody to this second webinar for GetFiveStars customers, and I appreciate you being here. We had a lot of fun in the last webinar, and we're planning to do these regularly just to share with you new features and also get your feedback too. So last time we showed off a whole bunch of new stuff that was pretty well received. We like to talk about, we always blog about these as well. So trying to keep up to date on our blog and our Twitter feed as we add new capabilities. And some of the things we talked about last time were the performance report, which is an all new report we had professionally designed, and it's a fully interactive report. So you can tell how your business location is doing. We also showed off our new email designs and also the new feedback page designs for both desktop and mobile. And so it's some really great, those have been really well received now. They've been out there for about 3 weeks, and people really like them so far. And so what I wanted to share with you today, though, are some new features, and also just, get your questions answered if you have any questions. So let me show you a couple of things we've been working on. So one of the things, hopefully you know about GetFiveStars, is we're super excited about this stuff, and we're always improving the product and adding new features based on our research, based on how, on your feedback, and based on how the industry and the trends are changing. And so one of the things that we just recently added is the widget design. So many of you are using this widget that we provide that allows you to put testimonials that you capture in the system on your website. And one of the great advantages of this is that this content is all fresh new content that's generated by your customers that goes on your website. So if you've got this widget on your website and you're using GetFiveStars, you're getting a nice flow of rich content updating your website, because we put it on there in a way that Google crawls and understands. And so what we've done is we've added this widget, and we've also wrapped it all in the rich snippets schema.org markup language too. And so what's really nice about that is when Google comes and crawls your site, it recognizes not only is there good content on here, but they're also marked up as reviews. And if your website has enough authority, those rich snippets could show up in the search results. So this is just an example of the old widget and how it displayed. Here's a little bit more of a zoom in on it. And what we wanted to do is come up with a better design, something fresher, more compelling, more interesting, and modern. Pretty much the functionality, is the same, but the design is different. So here's the new widget design. We worked for quite a while on this. There are actually a lot of things we had to think about and worry about that. It seems like it's just a little redesign of a widget, but we had the ability, as you might know, we have the ability to customize these things with CSS. We had different people using them in different ways, and so we had to do a little bit of work there to make sure that we didn't break anything. So I'll talk more about that in a minute, but this is what the new widget looks like. On the left-hand side, you see the top part of the widget. On the right-hand side, you see the bottom part. I couldn't fit it all on one screen and make it readable, so I kind of broke it up in two. But that's how it looks. We've got a more flat, modern design. We actually have the ability to do different color schemes, which I'll show you in a minute. We added this badge along the top here where it shows the number of stars and the number of total testimonials. And so that's kind of a nice thing. Chuck is asking, is this widget just for WordPress sites? Good question, Chuck. No, you can use this widget on pretty much any website. And I'll show you where you can get the code snippet. We'll give you a little code snippet that you can take and put on any website. If you happen to be using WordPress, we also provide a WordPress plugin that you can use to make it easy. But if you're not using WordPress, you can still use the widget. And I really recommend that you do, because if you've been using GetFiveStars, then you know that as you take people through this feedback process, they leave you this feedback, these testimonials. They don't always leave you online reviews. And so you capture both this way, right? And you've got stuff you can use on your website. You've got new content coming out to your website, which is really valuable. So we also designed it so that it looks really good on mobile devices. As all of GetFiveStars, we make sure that mobile is part of everything we do and everything that you are creating. everything that you use in the system or your customer sees is all fully responsive and it adapts itself to the screen size. So here's another example, of the new widget style showing up on a mobile device, and it looks great. I think we do our best to make it look good so that people are finding you online or they're leaving you reviews online or whatever. Ryan is asking, is there any difference with the schema in the new widget? No, the code behind the scenes has not changed. We worked really hard on that schema markup. It took us months to get it right because there's all these little nitpicky technicalities that have to be just perfect. And so that stuff is all the same and preserved. And so you're going to still get the same, good results from the Google crawling. It's just really more of a facelift for the actual visuals in the widget. So basically, that's the new widget design. Compare here. Let me just back up to show you again the old one. Okay, so this is the old design, and then here's the new design. So this is again the old, and then here's the new design, right? So just can you see the difference? Now, what we did is we didn't want to break. We understand that some people have customized this widget with CSS, which we allow. We provided class selectors for all the different elements in here so that you could tweak it, make it look right in your website if you needed to change something. We try to provide a nice neutral color scheme that will work with whatever your website looks like, but sometimes people want to do additional customizations, and we've allowed that. So one of our challenges when we created this new design was, how do we not break what's on somebody's website if they're using our widget? So when we rolled this out, if you have an existing location, it's going to continue to use the old design unless you go into the settings and change it. That was our safest way of just making sure. I mean, we actually had it where we didn't think we were going to break anybody's design on their site, but we just wanted to be absolutely certain. And so that's why we're leaving it the default. And I'll show you where to change that. It's very easy to change, but I just wanted to let you know that all your existing website, if you're using our widget, nothing's going to change unless you go in and turn on the new design. Now, for all new customers or new locations that you add, those will automatically inherit the new design. All right, so let me show you what I'm talking about. I kind of jumped ahead of myself here. I'm going to come back to this to what we're going to do next because I want to show you how to set this up first. All right, so here's how you turn on the new design. Let's say that you've got the widget already installed on your website. You like the way this new design works. You're like, oh, I want it. It looks better. Here's how you turn it on. Thomas has a nice user guide post. I've got a URL down there. There's a long URL, but he'll put that in the chat. He'll put that in the chat window so that you guys can just grab that link if you want, or you can do a search on it in our user guide. But basically, you have to go to Testimonials widget under Settings, and then you just choose the new default theme. And you'll see that the legacy theme is by default, but you choose, and show you a little close up here of what I'm talking about. So you drop that down. You want to choose the default theme, which is the new one. Currently, it'll say legacy theme, and so it's just up to you to do that one little switch. It's all you got to do. And that's it. Now, Thomas just chatted me this. I'm going to put this in the chat window. This is the user guide link. It should be showing up right now in the chat window below, on the right-hand side in your GoToWebinar control panel. If you want to go to that user guide article, I'll show you a demo as well. But first, I wanted to, I'll show you a demo. And then we'll come back to new features. Let's do it that way. So let me pull up my browser and show you. All right, so I want to back up one. So you guys are familiar with GetFiveStars. You need to be in your customer dashboard to change settings for that location. Many people, when you first log in, you start in the business dashboard and you have one or more locations in here. Then you choose your business location, and now you'll get the settings for that location. And what you want to do is go into Testimonials widget, click that. And here's where you're going to see the new, it's going to be legacy by default. That's going to be the one, and you want to change it to default. Okay, and then you see this little green arrow pop up. It means it saved it. So now when you go to your website, you'll see here's the new Testimonials widget, right? This is what it looks like. Now, if you wanted to go back, I'll just show you. If you go back to if you didn't like how it looks with your website or something, you just go back to Legacy, look for the green check mark, and then you go refresh. And there might be a little caching issue here because we cache these widgets for better performance, but I'm going to try and reload it and see. Yeah, so here you're seeing the old style right here. So you can always switch back to that if you don't like the new look, but I think the new one is much better. There's also a different color scheme, and we're going to be adding more of these too. But there's this orange theme that you can use. And so I'm going to just turn that on so you can see how we can change the color and the styling on these too on the new look. So here you can see like the buttons are orange. The little highlights around the different pagination controls are orange, and so are these buttons. And so, I mean, they're minor things, but if you want to get a certain color, like pick up another color on your website to kind of make things go, we decided to always keep the stars yellow because we did a bunch of testing and visually, and we found that people are expecting for this kind of review, they're expecting to see yellow stars, and when you start changing the color, they get confused. So anyway, you can change the themes, and we'll be adding more themes here over time. But I'll show you if you want to customize that, there's a way to do that. So here's where you grab right here is where you grab the Testimonials widget. And here's where you can get the WordPress plugin if you've got WordPress. But in any case, you just grab that chunk of code and you copy it to your clipboard and you put that on your website. That's how you can get the widget turned on for your website. Now, Thomas just gave me a link that I want to show you. If for some reason our new widget design or any of the widget designs are not how you want them, and you've got a special website situation, this user guide post, which the link is in the chat window, shows you how to do all kinds of cool stuff. Like it shows you how to set up what we just showed you with the new styles. And then it also shows you how to use advanced customization with CSS. So if you're a developer or if you have a website developer, you can give them a link to this and they can go in and change any of those colors just using some simple CSS. And even the star images, the button look and feel, the colors, the fonts, any of the stuff in here, we've made it so you can have control over that in case you need to change it to match with your website. So that is the deal. Paul is saying, I was at Local U in Austin last week, and Mike Ramsey reminded us that Yelp doesn't like its link to be associated with the please review text. Is the Yelp link provided with something like, please see our reviews on Yelp? Okay, so Paul, here's the deal with Yelp. It's a good question. If you look at your testimonials widget here, there's an option where you can have your review, leave us a review on your web page as well, which I think I suggest doing because it shows transparency. It's just a good best practice. So underneath your testimonials, they can leave you feedback here. They can press this to leave you feedback and get 5 stars, or they can jump right to your Google or Facebook. We don't show Yelp down here for the exact reason that you mentioned, because that's, again, Yelp doesn't like that. They recommend people not to ask for reviews, which that's their policy or whatever. I think it's wrong. I think that if you're a business owner and you have a legitimate customer, it's okay to ask them for a review. I mean, I don't think you should incentivize them for that, but you can ask, and I think there shouldn't be anything wrong with it. But we want to respect Yelp's terms, and so we do not, even if you have Yelp, like let's go see. I think for this account I have under feedback, that would be under online review links. I think I have Yelp specified here. Yeah, I do. I have Yelp specified and turned on, but you'll notice it's not showing up down here. So the reason for that is because of those Yelp terms of service. Now, what we do, if you want me to show you this, I'm just going to show you. This is a feedback request email, and this is the new look and feel, by the way, where you can add your own logo and your own picture. Now, if your customer clicks on this private feedback link, now this isn't sitting out there on your website or anything, we do include, after positive feedback, we do include the Yelp here. So let me go through here and show you. Once I click feedback, you'll see the Yelp icon here. Now this is here, which you can optionally, you can turn it off. We do allow you to put it here because a lot of people ask for that, and this is a private page. Okay, this isn't just sitting out there on the internet. And so we allow you to turn it on here. Now, the only caveat that I would say to that is here's how I think about Yelp. If you ask all your customers for Yelp reviews and they're not avid Yelpers, like meaning they haven't left a bunch of other reviews on other websites, like at least 5 other businesses, if they haven't uploaded their profile picture, if they don't frequently log into Yelp and leave reviews, their reviews are just going to be filtered anyway. And so I don't suggest leading with Yelp. I think Google and Facebook are better options because Google reviews are super valuable for showing the rich snippets. You want to get at least 5 of those for the rich snippets to show up next to your listing. And Facebook is easy because almost everybody has a Facebook account. So you're kind of taking down a barrier of login or account creation if you have Facebook as an option. So I typically don't recommend Yelp, but we had enough people ask us for it specifically that it is there. And I know what some people do is they will look at their customer list and grab their customer names and email addresses, and then they'll go look for them on Yelp. And if they find out that some of their customers are avid Yelpers, then they'll send them just to directly review. Like they'll go in here and they'll turn off Facebook and Google and leave Yelp on, and then they'll send out those people a feedback request. And then they'll come in, and then if they leave a review on Yelp, then it's more likely to stick because they're avid Yelp people, and that's what the Yelp filter is looking at. So hopefully that answered your question, Paul. That's how we're dealing with the Yelp situation. All right, so what was I showing you here? I wanted to show you under Testimonials Widget how you turn on the new theme, how you get your code. The other thing I wanted to mention is these other options, these links to your review sites. For example, if I turn that off, just in case you didn't know that, that will turn these on or off. So if I refresh this page now, I won't, oops, let me try that again. When I refresh this page, you'll find that this is just the website being slow. It's not our widget. It's like the whole web page. So let me just go back to there we go. Yeah, so you'll see under here, if we go to testimonials again, and I go down to the bottom, then you'll see that the our servers being pounded, Bluehost is being pounded again. As soon as this comes back, I'll show you basically it changes at the bottom. So see, they're not shown anymore. So that's how you can change these types of options. You can include the feedback form button. You can include the Facebook and like and Google Plus at the bottom and all that. You can change the scheme here. So this is how you take over and change things on your Testimonials widget. All right, so what else was I going to show you? Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to show you too. So here's what we're coming up with next with respect to and I welcome your feedback here. But based on things we've heard customers ask for so far, they wanted to be able to choose how many to display. So let me just jump back over to that page again and show you what I'm talking about. So if I go to the testimonials page here, you'll see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reviews are shown before pagination. We've had people say, well, what if I want to show 10 or 15? So we're working on that change so that you can show more here because all this great text would be indexed. You can show more before it gets paginated. That's one thing we're working on. Is in a future version. The other is some people wanted a badge only, so they only wanted this top part here. They wanted to be able to maybe put that on their header or in their sidebar. And so we're coming up with a responsive version of this badge that can be bigger or smaller that you could feature somewhere else on your website. It would say average rating out of 39 testimonials, 5 out of 5 stars, and then just show the badge and not all the stuff below it. The other thing we're working on is a rotating testimonials widget so that you could maybe have something like this with only one in here, but then every so many seconds it would rotate to a different one, so you'd see many different testimonials through that way. And then the last thing is we're working on like syndicating this to social media. So what if every time somebody left you a testimonial that you approved, you could hook up your Twitter account and it would automatically tweet that out with a link back to your testimonials page. So those are a few of the features that we are looking to add with respect to the testimonials widget. We're working on a bunch of other stuff too, but just kind of scoping the discussion to this. So yeah, so that's the big thing. The other thing I wanted to tell you about is the Customer Testimonials API. So we've had a lot of people ask us for API access to GetFiveStars. And One of the most common ones we hear about is this API for the customer testimonials. And we've got an API now for that, where you can call our system and then it will return all of the, you give it a business ID and it will return all the testimonials for that business. And so you can capture that and receive a JSON object back, and then you can use that on your website any way you want. So that's something that we already have done and ready to go. We're using it with several of our larger clients right now. And I'm pasting another link in the chat window, courtesy of Thomas, for the user guide for that. So I'll just show you real quick over here what I pasted into the window. This is just our documentation on how to use that API. So these are just some of the, yeah. I guess that's the wrong one, Thomas. I think, don't we need the, maybe this is it. Sorry. Okay, yeah, that last one is the one for the specific feature. We have a few other APIs as well. So the link I gave you, you want to click on this last one. It's the Testimonials Widget API call. And if you're not a programmer or you're not wanting to do some special integration with your website, you don't need to even worry about this. You just need to grab the testimonial widget and put it on your page. We've had other circumstances where people wanted direct access to that data. You can also export at any time in the system. If you go to account business details, you can go down to the bottom and export your customers, all your customers and all their testimonials and review information. You can export it to a CSV file that you can load in Excel. So that's also available to you anytime because it's your data. You know, that's all your data. So that's the deal there. Chuck is saying, if a company website starts GetFiveStars, does it take a long time for it to help with ranking? Yeah, it's a good question, Chuck. It depends on a lot of things. So number one, it depends on where that website is currently. So review content on your website is not a silver bullet that's going to solve all your ranking problems. It's a factor. It's an important factor that can help you. If your website already has been around for a little while and Google knows about it and has some respect for it, then these can make a difference pretty fast because you're capturing testimonials that are showing up on your website with more indexable content. And that's a good thing, especially the rich snippet stuff. And just to show you what I'm talking about, in case you don't know what rich snippets are, Google has a testing tool that says it's looking for this structured markup for reviews. And if I put that testimonials page in here, it will crawl that page and look at it and tell me if it's marked up properly for the testimonial stuff. And so when Google goes off and crunches this and comes back, looks like my server is still down. So I need to redo this again, but it's going to come back and share with me that this markup, which is what we put around this, is the proper markup for it to understand and crawl. And so, yeah, I'm having problems with the server. Let me show you though what this means. So if I were to go to, here's an example of by the way, that is a website issue we've had with our beta website. It's not related to our widget, the return, because all that stuff is cached. It's a problem with our web server. Our Bluehost server has been getting attacked, I think, and so it's taking too long to respond. So what I want to show you though is how this works in action. Here's one of our customers. You can see that she's been capturing these, and here's her Google result with the stars by it, right? But here's her testimonials page, and it has rich snippets by it because they're marked up in this schema.org format. And if I look over here on the right-hand side, Google is actually counting that as a source of valid reviews. Okay, and if I click on this, we're talking about her testimonials page on her website. So you can see she's using the new widget, and she's got some great content on her website from this, and Google is recognizing this as review information, and it's capturing those rich snippets and showing it next to the search result. So this is just an example of how that can help you. Now, this website, as you can see up here, it has some respect in Google already. It's a PageRank 2 page here. And so that helps, right? Is the fact that this website has been around for a while. It's already got some backlinks into it, and it's a respected website. So not all websites are going to get those rich snippets immediately. It just depends. It takes a little time. Google's got to trust your website first before it'll do that. But I just wanted to show you what that looks like. And hopefully that answers your question, Chuck. Vlad is asking if you have the same reviews on Google and the website, Google can remove those from Google. Would that be a problem? Vlad, excellent question. Yes, they will. So that's why our system is different. You're going to see a lot of other systems out there that will scrape reviews from Google or Yelp or something, and they'll put them on your website. You don't want to do that. What we're doing with GetFiveStars is we're capturing these testimonials privately. So number one, if there's a problem, you know about it before it goes public, you can deal with it, you can help that customer and take care of the problem. And number two, if you know they're happy, now you've captured this testimonial that you can put on your website. This is not the review from Google. This is your own content, your own review that you can put on your website, in addition to capturing the reviews in Google and Yelp and Facebook. So we're doing two things here with GetFiveStars. We're segmenting our customers between happy and not happy. We're following up with the unhappy customers to fix the problem before it becomes a negative review. Then for our happy customers, we're asking them for a testimonial. We're making it easy for them to leave us an online review. So what you're going to end up with is testimonials you can put on your website and reviews on Google, Yelp, and Facebook. So it's a good point though, Vlad, because I know a lot of these services will try to put your Yelp reviews on your website, or try to put your, and it's just duplicate content. And I've even seen it in situations where Google says it sees the same content here as it has captured a review in its system, and it will drop the review out of its system because it sees it duplicated. Now that doesn't always happen, but once in a while that will happen, and so you know that Google is looking for this, and you don't want to have the exact duplicate content like that. It's just not, and even if Google doesn't drop it, it's still just not really helping you. Ryan is saying, any talk about putting a city or town field in the review? That's a good question, Ryan. The only problem I have with that is I don't want to ask too much information out of the more fields that you add, the less the probability someone is going to leave you a review or a testimonial. And so we're trying to keep this as streamlined as possible. So like this question right here, right? If we add too many things to this, I mean, right now we're trying to keep it really, really tight, right? How likely is it you'd recommend our company to a friend or colleague? 9 or a 10 means I'm ecstatic. And statistically, it means they're referring you to their family and friends. 7 or an 8 means that they're neutral. And anything 6 or below means that they're not happy. With being lower on the scale means they're probably saying bad things. So it's important to capture that. We don't want to ask too many other questions. Now, if somebody leaves a bad review, we will ask for additional details there. And the other opportunity is if you already had a customer database, we could potentially do something there as well. But yeah, so anyway, we're trying to minimize those fields. I can see where the city and state would be valuable information to show there, though, from an SEO standpoint. Chuck is saying, thank you, Don. I'm trying to help my church website get to the first page in search. Well, I think, adding some testimonials. The other thing just a tip to give you guys, I think that it's really important for this review page to have this one. I didn't do it right. This should say, okay, there's two things here. Where are you going to put the widget? There's two approaches. You can either put it on the home page, because typically the home page is the most powerful web page on a small business website. So you could put it here on the home page. A lot of people are doing that, unless you think it messes up your home page. But if you've got a nice spot, you could put it down below here, and you put the testimonials widget there and have that content on your home page. Or you could have it on a testimonials page. If you have it on a testimonials page, I recommend that you call this page Reviews and Testimonials. And I'm hoping we did that in the, this is just a demo site, but I'm thinking in the HTML header. Nope, I didn't do it here either. So this should also say Reviews and Testimonials. And the reason for that is because as that page starts to rank, you'll notice that people will type in reviews and then your company name. And so this testimonials page should not just be called testimonials like I have it here. I will fix this for the next demo. But this, we're not worried about this page. It's just a demo site. It's not a real location. But it should say reviews and testimonials. So anyway, that's just a little SEO tip for you. It should be here, and it should also be in the title tag that you want to do that. Yeah, so that is the deal. I wanted to tell you about the API there. So any questions about these new changes, whether it's the API or the testimonials widget, I'd love to hear any other questions. I know we've been asking them along the way. Same thing with the other features too. If you had questions about the new email templates or the new landing page formats, we've been getting a great reception from that. We spent a long time redesigning these to be very professional and have nice modern designs. And so for those of you who I'm glad you like them. If you have feedback for us, let us know. The same thing with the report. I'd love to know how people are using this customer report. Just so you know where that is, by the way, real quick, if I'm in the system here, I just go up to Reports, Performance Report. And you'll get this report. And this just tells you really basic, at a glance information. How happy are my customers? How many feedback requests went out? What's my open rate? What kind of online reviews am I getting? Am I getting any non-positive feedback that I need to address? It's all right there. And if you look under settings, the other thing we talked about in the last webinar is that notification settings is all in one place now under settings. And I can go in there and I can set up, if I want to receive that performance report every week or every month, I can do that right here. Or same thing with the online reviews. If I want to receive new online review alerts, I can do that here. And then I can determine which notifications. So we had notifications in different places, and we wanted to centralize those so you could easily control what you're seeing, what email alerts that you get. Yeah, and then Vlad says, since you give an option to leave a review on Google, will it show up in the widget on the website? Okay, I think I understand. So Vlad, I think this is your question. Let me know if not. I think the question was, okay, since we give this option for Google, okay, will that show up on the website? No. Here's the deal. This information here is based on testimonials that people have left you privately through GetFiveStars. You control which ones of those get published in your dashboard by clicking this switch, or by going to your feedback settings and say, I want to approve everything over a 7 or an over to automatically go to my website. So those are the two ways you can get those onto your website. Now, those are not reviews in Google or Yelp or Facebook. We have some options in your testimonials widget on your website where you can include this feedback button where someone can leave you feedback privately through GetFiveStars, okay? Or, and by the way, you can turn that off if you want, but I think it's a good idea to have it on. We also have leave us a review on Google or Facebook. Now, these link directly to Google and open up the review window so that I can leave a review about this business on Google. Now, those are not going to show up on your website. These are Google reviews. Okay, so basically we're providing both options. We're providing both options here. So these would click through and leave you an online review. This is the private feedback that will show up on your website. So those are the two different ways people can leave you feedback and reviews. And Ed says he really likes the new reports. Awesome. Thank you, Ed. We worked hard on those. Chuck is saying, is it proper to ask for reviews like at my church's website, like asking people in church? I was going to ask about how this is going to work. Yeah, I mean, I think you could ask for feedback for your church for sure. You could either send them to this page, to the testimonials page on your website, or you could send them an email from the system. Or the other way you can do it is if you're in GetFiveStars and you go to your feedback settings, every business location has a unique URL that you can share. So you could share this in the church newsletter, for example, say, hey, leave us your feedback. We'd love to know what you think. Or you could share this in an email signature or wherever you want on a postcard. And then if someone clicks that URL, it takes them directly to your feedback page. So that's another way you can get feedback into the system. So there are several different ways that you can do that. I think any of those is fine. Vlad says, yep, that answers his question. Awesome. Yeah, Vlad, we need to do a better job of explaining the difference between those two methods, whether I'm leaving the review on Google or Facebook or Yelp, or whether I'm capturing the testimonial for the website. So thanks for asking that question. Ed's saying, he's asking, is there any way to track if the customer clicked on any of those links? Well, Ed, I'm glad you asked that question. Yes, there is. Give me a second to find I have too many tabs open here. Yeah, if you go to reports and you go to the customer feedback report, you'll notice a couple of things. First of all, it tells you how many feedback, gives you deeper stats on this stuff. But if you scroll down, it will tell you down here your online review link clicks. It's kind of hard to say, but these are the buttons on your page, and it tells you how many times people with a lifetime or the last 30 days have done this. This down here is for the feedback URL. So that's the one I showed you a minute ago, which I got from the feedback settings. And this is the URL I said you can include in your newsletter or whatever. That's the feedback link that someone has clicked on. These are the buttons. So what I'm talking about here are these buttons when someone submits you, oh crap, when they submit you positive feedback. I submitted negative there. That won't show the review buttons, and I want to show them. Yeah, so we're tracking these clicks. So we can tell you how many people opened your email. We can tell you how many people left you a testimonial, and then how many people actually clicked on these links here. And then we can take that a step further and go to the online review monitor and tell you exactly how many people have left you reviews on the major sites. So we can tell you, we monitor your reviews on Google, Yelp, City Search, and Facebook. And you can get email notifications whenever somebody leaves you a new review there if you want. So it's a great way to track what's going on with your business and how people are interacting there. Chuck says, thank you. Ed says, I knew you didn't miss that one. Thanks. Very cool. All right. Well, hey, everybody, thank you so much for coming here. We are always available at support@expandtoweb.com. I mean, support at GetFiveStars.com or expandtoweb.com, but use the Get5Stars one for this. And we will be glad to help you with any questions. And we're always looking for new things because we're super excited about this, and we're going to constantly be adding features. So and things to bring you guys value.